No matter where you are in your state of awakening, or if you're in anxiety and struggling right now, I'm going to give you some ways in order to escape pain, worry, anxiety, and the planet in the third dimension. I'm going to explain how this works. You ready to go there? Come with me. Welcome to Landria Onkka on YouTube, here to help you break through the fears and live an absolutely amazing life. What does that mean? Well, let me share with you a few things that may help you, and if you implement this, can totally take you to a different place. A place where you're not experiencing the third and fourth dimensional pain and anxiety of the planet. What is the third and the fourth? The third is a strictly seemingly material world. The fourth is when we go into, there's another dimension there of the unseen, the quantum field, psychic abilities, all kinds of things that take us just beyond this body, but it's not an awakened state. It's a step in that direction. In other words, the less we associate with just the physical material world, the more awakened we become. How does that work? Awakening is just reconnecting, or exactly, not reconnecting, we never lose the connection, but let's say recognizing and reawakening to what we really truly are, and that exists right here with you right now. It never left you. It's impossible. It's impossible for anything to be separated because we are one energy, just experiencing every possible facet of itself. I want you to always remember that. There's no judgment in that statement. In other words, the one doesn't judge what those expressions are. It cannot judge itself and condemn itself. Only we do that. And we are in control of that entire experience. Now, I'm going to grab my coffee here and have a little sip, so join me. Love my coffee. You know, that's one small little experience that when you go into the higher dimensions, when you leave your body, you don't experience anything like that quite the same way. It's impossible because you can only experience that in this material world, in this split second, this moment. You can never duplicate anything again. That's why when I take a sip of coffee and you do, they're totally different experiences, and that's what I want to share with you today. This is so important for you to really practice every day if you truly want to go into that higher realm, that new earth, that new space. Now, I teach a lot of ways for you to manifest and actually just get control of manifesting. You're always manifesting. And what I want to point out is that when you consciously think about that, you can change it if you don't like the results. How do you feel about the results of your life right now? How is that working for you right now? What do you believe is happening in your life? Because all of that is absolutely continually creating the next moment. This is why the power of now is so amazing. The power of now is where everything takes place. It's always now. It's always now. It's never the future. We may know what that is in the now, but you're always in the now, experiencing the future. So we don't want to get into like how that all works and then get into debates about it. What I want to do today is to ask you if you really know who you are. Do you know who you are? In other words, why are you thinking and feeling a certain way and I may be thinking and feeling different things? Do you know? Two things: conditioning and the choices within it. Every one of us chose. You can switch into a higher dimension when you grasp this. In other words, know that this is true, taking responsibility. Every one of us chose the path we're on right now. The bodies we're in, the family situations, the challenges that came along the way. All of us chose those as part of our involvement, as part of our school teachings. This is a classroom. That's it. Our classroom is presenting numerous challenges for us, the classes that we chose to take. I may have chosen calculus and you chose math, basic math. Or, in many cases, you chose calculus. In other words, whatever challenge you took on that's so great that you may think you can't get through it or you can't get past it, that is the higher training. That's the super advanced classes. And if you took one of those, congratulations, you can accelerate your awakening, your enlightenment, by the choice that you make within the teaching. Can you look at everything, absolutely everything, as nothing but a teaching, a teaching, a teaching, a teaching, and that your entire focus should be on my reaction, my choice, my reaction, my choice, same thing. Reactions often are unconscious. Choice is when you consciously choose a feeling, choose a thought, choose a reaction. A reaction sometimes is just something that shows up based on our programming. You may automatically react a certain way based on the fact that somebody brought you up to think a certain way, or religious people are this way, or wealthy people are this way, or whatever it is you believe. Conscious manifestation is a workshop I'm teaching right now, and we go into all of this in depth. Get to know yourself. What are the teachings that you have had in your life? What classes have you not passed yet? You can't really fail, but you will remain in that class until you graduate. Life is an absolute classroom for you. You will remain in the same lesson until you master it and graduate. This is what it's about. Everything is a teaching for you. Everything that happens from here, from the teaching onward, is based on your choice to the teachings, within the teachings. Everything that happens all day long is teachings and choices. And within that, the teachings, the more advanced, the easier ones. Are you going to open a door for a little old lady? Or are you going to put yourself out for somebody in a big way? Are you going to forgive somebody? A big teaching. The frequency is the choice. The teaching is a big one, something really challenging. The frequency is, am I going to forgive them? Or am I going to remain down here? When these are mismatched, guess what happens? You stay there until you meet the challenge. Does that make sense? Everything all day long can be viewed as my teaching, my teaching, my teaching. When you do look at the news, if you're reacting, and especially in a negative way, you're choosing to allow negative energy in, and then your reaction to it, if it's a negative one, is still your choice. To believe, to get sucked in, to gravitate toward the low frequency. Here's the teaching. The negativity is out there. Your choice of what you do with that, and we are in it big time right now, is going to determine your frequency. Does this make sense? Everything's a program. Everything's a challenge, a teaching. Everything. Everything. Right down to that debate you have with somebody. If you spoke nicely, or if you just expressed your opinion, or more advanced people not requiring to do that at all. I want to ask you right now if you can look and see who you are. Who am I? I'm a program. I have been programmed according to what I've experienced. It's going to be different than anyone in the entire cosmos in existence. Yours is yours and yours alone. Yours is your programmed teachings just for you. Will you master them? and meet the challenge with your frequency, or will you continually flunk and keep taking that course over and over and over again? The choice is yours. You can shift today into a completely different place, even if you don't master all of this. If you see it and know it that way, you are now switching in another reality where you don't see the challenges as punishment or a victim. You now see them as tests. Purposeful tests just for you, just for you. You see, when I look out there and I see what's going on in the world, I'm not seeing the same thing you are. That's a program coming in for me, and a choice for me also to create that. So my choice continually creates the new challenge or the new thing that comes into my life. And the higher frequency I go in within my teachings, the more I open the gateway for higher frequency challenges. In other words, they're not painful. I'm not reacting that way anymore. I'm going into this space where it's not a problem. And then I know it's another teaching, and then I master it, and then I keep going up and up and up in my frequency. That's awakening. It's all just choices. Choices to the teachings, that's all day long. Everything that happens, you're teaching, teaching, teaching. Am I being baited to go into social media? Am I being baited to watch the negativity? Here's a choice. Did I master it? Yes. Boom. Something new. And when you go in the higher frequency, you master the higher frequency teachings, really cool stuff starts to show up, because now you're in a space where you're not requiring that anymore. You've mastered it. So you go into spaces where it's not so painful. The teachings may be something really amazing, like, handling abundance, or when you get abundance, what are you going to do with it? Will you help other people, or will you go back into density because of it, believing that, there's limitations or lack out there? You can slide back. You can go up here and get something that really challenges you, right? And miss the mark again. That's how awakened people can slide back. Because the teachings will get stronger and stronger as to how you can improve and raise your frequency, so you may get something that triggers you. That's why it's great to be out in the world and not up in a monastery, isolated. Is you get challenged again, and so all of a sudden you're in this awakened space and you're feeling something else through programming that needs to be cleared up. I don't like to use the N-word. Need is, for me, we have everything. But something you're choosing within your experience here is, okay, I'm in this super awakened state. Now, what has to be cleared up? So things will show up for you saying, you haven't quite mastered this yet, the material world. You haven't quite mastered forgiveness. You were able to forgive that person. Can you forgive this person? Yes. Boom. Let's go on to something else. Because now we're in a higher, amazing, beautiful state of euphoria. Higher frequency. Does this make sense? So if you want to join me, as of this video, it's going to be live in July, but it's going to be put out there for everyone, called Conscious Manifesting Workshop with Landria Onkka. Another teacher came out with a teaching like 1 or 2 weeks after I released mine. It's pure coincidence. I'm going to teach you very differently, and the workshop is, we take these practices. How do we use practices every single day? Simplify it. And am I struggling with anxiety today? Then we look at you. We start to go into you and your individual programming. If you start to think about this, everything is like, okay, what's my challenge today? Oh, it could be really subtle. It could be subtle. Am I judging? Judging's a big one. All right, can I go into that space? Mastered, boom. Let's go to something else. Let's go to something else. And the challenges that come to you aren't going to be more painful. In fact, they're going to be more pleasant when you go to higher frequencies. But they're just things that you still need to clear up, that you have programmed, that you have requested to clear up and master. Sometimes things will show up that'll really challenge you. Don't be afraid to master things because oh no, bigger challenges are going to come. No, that's not what's happening. In fact, the bigger challenges are what you must master in order to go into that space where you no longer have those traumatic situations that come into your life. You don't require them anymore because you're past all of that. Now it's like, okay, now I'm at a different point in my life. Okay, what can I master at this point? Now, instead of being just awakened, can I take it out there and be the change in the world? Okay, that's a big one for awakened people, because it really is physically, emotionally, painful for awakened people to be exposed to this. It's because you are more sensitive to the pain and agony that's going out there. It just absolutely makes no sense. You can't even relate to it. So it would be easy, and a lot of people do this. Awakened people will retreat from the world and meditate and be amazing, but won't get challenged if they don't go back out there. And that's the challenge, is to go back out there. Can I now take my awakened higher frequency and take it out there to make the change? Not to make people change, but to offer change. Because wanting that from somebody else is not an awakened state. That's you, the ego, wanting people to be different and not accepting their journey. We're all working it through. We're all working our tests and trainings through. That's all everybody's doing. But as a collective, we can be the catalyst for one another. And that's part of your teachings, is, will I take this and will I apply it out here now to affect everyone? By you raising your own frequency, you're already affecting the collective. That's why we've shifted into a higher frequency. That's why things are happening out there. People are shifting to a higher frequency. So it's global. It used to be just much more of an individual or small groups, and now it's global because enough of us have gone to that higher frequency that have shifted everybody into a semi-awakened state. And there's a lot of people in density, not to be judged. Use this practice and see it all. My teaching, am I meeting that challenge? Let's go to the next one. You have to ask yourself, every time this happens, what's the programming that I personally have that's causing me to make choices that are lower frequency? When you are not mastering these, you're believing or reacting to programming. Trust me, if you were the wolf child in the woods, you wouldn't be having the thoughts and the beliefs you have right now. They wouldn't exist. They came from somewhere. You are not this original thing. This is how things are. I'm pretty sure along the way, programming has happened that you chose to take on that boxed you in. Break out of the box, my friend. Come on, take my Conscious Manifesting Workshop. If you've ever taken one of my classes, then this is going to be real powerful for you. You can take it without one of my classes, but I highly suggest you take at least one of my master classes, which we go through the theory and we talk about how these different areas of frequency and manifesting work. And then the workshop, you're just going to apply all that you've learned in daily practices that you can use. Also, my free workshop is still available for all of you who want to explore different ways to get out of the matrix of earning and working, taking control, or maybe even doing something on the side that can contribute to the planet. In other words, would I like to create an e-commerce store that helps people to choose vitamins or crystals or whatever it is that you would like to delve into? Would I like an online yoga class? Would I like an online meditation courses? Would I like to just promote other products and services that are really positive? You can do all these things and make higher choices within even business and how you earn. And we've been told that's wrong, right? That's programming. It's wrong. Yet we still go into jobs we despise that destroy the planet and aren't good for anybody. Take a good look at that. You're whole, perfect, strong, powerful, loving, harmonious, and happy. Blessings to you, my amazing, unconditionally loved human light being. I just want to say another thing. Those of you who think you're less than that, that's programming too. Take a look at where that came from. Are you ready to let it go? Namaste.